Hi everybody, JoPaddy here, and welcome to the art table. And tonight I have a few tricks I want to show you. First off, I want to start by talking about the honey consistency. A lot of people talk about the consistency of honey for your pours, and that's true. It's good. It's a good consistency to go by. But I want to show you something. This is honey that is right out of the jar. Can you see how it's, you can scrape the bottom there a little bit, and it's kind of thick. This is a good consistency to have for like your negative space, because you always want your negative space to be a little bit thicker. See how that's thicker, but still kind of runs off the little side of the stick, nice and smooth. Now, this is warm honey. It's been warmed up in the microwave. Now look at that. See, when you do the background, and you scrape the back like that, it's not as thick. And look how smooth it is. It's nice and thin, but it's got a little bit of a thick consistency, a little bit of a pull when you stir it back and forth. This is better. Warm honey is better, and that's why you hear a lot of people talk about warm honey. But like I said, the thicker honey right out of the jar is best for like the negative space, because you got to have something to push that paint into, have that paint go into. And now I want to show you what I go by too more than anything is this. This is maple syrup. And it is always, when it's room temperature, whatever, even heated up, it's the same. It has a nice drip to it. It's nice and smooth. And that's a good consistency. It's easier to explain that way, because maple syrup is just maple syrup. Warm or room temperature, it's the same. So if you get confused or you're not really sure about the consistency of things, go get your maple syrup and see. This is like exactly what you want your paints to be like. All right, everybody. That's for the syrups and the honeys. Let's talk about a different kind of pour. Okay, now let's talk about a different kind of pour. This pour is made with a shot glass that I get from work. And they're just like these little shot glasses where there's a little cup inside of a bigger cup. They use them for cherry bombs and stuff like that. I did talk about this in another video, but it was really a long time ago, so I thought I'd do it again and then show you with paints in it. So, first of all, these cups with the little cup inside, what I've done was fill the paint up this halfway, and the inside cup I put the same amount of paint in, so it's even. And same with this. This is a homemade one, in case you can't find one of these. This is simply just one of these little pour cups that you can get at Walmart. And this is like a little medicine cup that you can also get at Walmart. But there's two different sizes, and that's what I wanted to talk about. If you get the bigger, taller shot glass size, and then also shot glasses, you can find these in the liquor department too at Walmart, besides the medicine cups. And what you do is I put glue on the bottom and squished it in there. Now I want to tell you something about that. Now see, this cup, if you get the taller one and you put it in there, if you can see, this is level to the top. So the paint's going to come out at the same time, and that's not what you want. What you need is make sure you have the smaller little medicine cup type of shot glass and put that in there, so it's shorter than the cup itself. That way it ensures you to have the paint come out at two separate times. So if I can do that at an angle so I can show you. And then this one, when you put that in, see how it's the same size? It's pretty level to the top. You want it to be really short. So that way you're guaranteed your paint's going to come out at two separate times. And then once you do that, and if you do make the homemade one, you put the glue in there and you put that in there. If you don't want to pour that night, or say something comes up, you got to take the dog out or whatever, and you decided not to paint that night, you could put the lid on those, because they come with lids. And then you can put the bigger lid. I have one available. The bigger lid on top of that, you could protect both paints. So that's that. It's kind of fun. Now I'm going to show you how to pour, what I'm talking about with this kind of pour. It's a different kind of design. It's just kind of like a swirl, but there's just different techniques out there that everybody does. So, I'm not claiming it. I didn't invent it. I just want to show you guys how fun this is. It's something different. I am going to start off by telling you this. When you pour something, or say you want that swirl pour, or you want a specific pour, say that you've got a cup full of paint and you're pouring it on the canvas, and you don't want to, like if you go like that and tip it back and you go to pull it off the canvas and you get those drip lines, and you don't want to stand there forever and you just don't know what to do, because even when the paint's empty, you're still going to get drips no matter how fast you do it or whatever. And sometimes you get lucky and that won't happen. But the best way to do it is to have a piece of paper in your hand, a photo paper or any kind of paper. And when you're pouring it, just before before you pull it away, as you tip it up, you can stick that under there really quick and then just pull it out like that. That way you don't get all these drip marks on the side. Okay, now let me show you this pour. So these are two different cups that I made. This one I had and this one I made, so I can show you guys how fun it would be to just make one. Okay, so let's start off with this. And we're going to pour this, and now I want you to be able to see. I wish I could zoom in, but I don't know if I can. See how the main circle part comes out first. And see how, that's why I call it a waterfall pour, because the middle part comes out last, and it kind of overflows like a waterfall. See how that comes out like that? That's really kind of cool. And you just pour and paint the canvas. And then I'll show you how I want to do that. See? And see how that line there would have been on your canvas. So if you're sticking a photo paper under there, helps out. Now here's the exact same pour, the exact same paints, colors of paint, the exact same amount and levels, and to the homemade cup. I'll show you that one. And the blue-green Key West color will come out first, and the white will come out second because it's smaller than the main cup. So that's what you want. That's what you want to look for if you make one of these. You want the cup on the inside to be shorter, so it comes out secondary. There you go. Now here comes a little waterfall of the white color. That's so pretty, you guys. Comes out like that. Now, I want to catch that. There we go. All right. Now, set that aside. And you guys can do your tilting or whatever. But I want to show you one more little technique with this before I go on to the last thing I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, so I want to spread that down here a little bit. And I'm not using this. This isn't a painting that I'm making for myself or for anyone else or for sale. It's strictly for demonstration purposes, this canvas is. And I want to show you something. After I pour that on there, and of course, however you guys tilt it, you're going to get your own look. If you tilt it slow and tilt it like this, you're going to get a nice little cool looking swirl. And if you just move it back and forth, you'll get that 50-50 look. You'll have to play around with it. But I want to show you something, what you can do. And this is going to create like a background for you. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So now what I want to do is take a squirt bottle of water. And I'm going to squirt the edges only, like that. Where it drips down. Now you can get that end if you want, or you can do this end. I'm just showing you as an example. I'm just getting that wet. And then what I'm going to do now is tip it up and let the water run through the paints. You can let it run off the end, tip it around, do all kinds of fun stuff with it. Just get the water in there, letting it drip into another canvas that I have underneath. It's also just a demonstration type canvas. All right, I don't mean to go quiet on you. I just wanted to get this spread out because I want to show you something with this. Because it's really kind of cool. When I'm done with it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, now, I don't have to spread it across the whole canvas to get my point across. I just want to show you that, and then I'm going to show you the next step. But in order to do that, I'm going to turn the camera off and then tell you what I did, because I can't take this big canvas and the camera with me to show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put this on pause and go do something and come back and tell you what I did. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I did, everyone. I took it to the big sink, and I put more water on it and spread it around with my fingertips. And then I gave it about 20 minutes to dry because it's still pretty wet. See? And then there's dry spots as well because I put more water on it and moved it around, and then moved it the canvas around and moved it around with my fingers. So there's a lot of like wet spots and dry spots. Now what I want to show you what you can do, and this makes a nice background for a painting. If you wanted to like double pour or whatever, and instead of putting a pour on top of a pour, you can put a pour on top of a painting, or you can do like this would be a pretty skyline if you wanted to, and then you can even make this hills and do something like that. And it'd be a good background instead of just the white canvas that you can start off with. That way you're getting some good dimension to your painting. So now you take a damp cloth or even a sponge, like I did in another video. I'll show you that, to make a background with a sponge. You take a damp cloth and you wipe it like this, see? And you're wiping off the wet paint, and some of the dry paint is staying on there. And see how it's getting nice, and it's got some color to the canvas now. You're going to create a little dimension to your painting the next time you want to paint something over this. And keep in mind, you didn't ruin it. If you don't like it and don't like the color, you can paint over it or give it an all white coat or give it an all black coat or whatever. And I even got hair in this rag because it was in the sink. But it's okay because the hair will not stick to this because it's going to dry like this. I think I just bumped you guys. Nope, I didn't. Okay. Now, usually, I think that I just didn't let it dry long enough because I kind of wanted to get off my feet here because of my back, and I just wanted to show this to you guys. But I think I have a better demonstration next time. But usually, it's kind of swirly like this. It's kind of faded in and out, and it's all over more. You don't get like these lines. And I didn't let it dry long enough to actually show you the effect that I wanted. So that's an epic fail for me tonight on this one. But at least I know what I did wrong. So what you need to do is, next time you do that, when you go to do it and you have paint on there, and you mix it with water, and then you take it to the big sink, or actually you can leave it there if you wanted to. I just prefer to walk over there. You mix it around a little bit like that with your hands. You can tap it and do whatever. And you just, you know, kind of you want the canvas to start drying. So you can just do that. And also we'll go ahead and finish this since I have a lot of white space on there. All right, and then just mix it in. I'm going to try to hurry this video because I know it's getting long for you guys. And I'm just trying to make a point. And you mix that in there. And now that you've done that, now you let it dry, or I could take a blow dryer to it, whatever, and then you wipe it off, and then you're going to get a nice look. And you could also tap it like with the rag first, and then let it dry like that. See, and then you got a little bit of cloudy background there. But anyway, there's different ways to do things. You can also put a lot of paint on there and do this. Let's see if I can show you here. You can put, I'm kind of running out of the paint now, but you could put a lot of paint on, put paint on your canvas. And I'll throw a little white on there really quick so I can show you a demonstration real quick before I get out of this video for you guys. Okay, you can swing it around a little bit, and then you want it a little bit on the thick side. You're not going to put water to this kind of demonstration or painting that you want. You can take just a bunch. This is the plastic that was wrapped in the canvas. Now I take that, and you can just put that in there like that, and you're dabbing your painting, kind of like sponge painting, like that. And then if you wait till your paint dries a little bit, instead of jumping on it like I just did, and you're going to have a really cool effect. It's kind of cool looking. Just depends on what look you're going for. And I'm going to let that go and leave it just like that. And then maybe do a painting from that and see what it looks like when it's dry. I'm just kind of blending it in a little bit now. But like I said, because it's so thin on there right now, that even little hairs and stuff, don't worry about. You're not going to ruin your design. You can even pick that hair out and stuff later. So, because it's not thick paint on the canvas at this point. It's nice and thin, and you got a little marble look, or a little swirly looks, like, you know, distant look, and you can rub it in however you want it. Actually, I kind of like doing that. I don't know when to quit. I like having fun with it and creating different things. That's really cool. All right, everybody. Well, you guys have a great night, and thank you for watching. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you guys on this video, because I don't want it to get much longer, is a little trick that I figured out. I know a lot of people have probably already figured this out too, but I wanted to show you something. Say that that's just a swatch of wet paint, and say that you're painting something, and that's your canvas or whatever, and could be a large amount of paint, it doesn't matter. I just want to show you something. And say that your paint is wet, and you drop a paint on there that you don't want on there. Now you know that if you swipe it, or you try to get it out of there or whatever, it's going to smear or could possibly blend in, and you don't want that. If you have these little pipette things, sometimes the smaller ones, if I can get you to see it, the smaller ones don't have enough suction. And you could try it though, and the bigger ones might. So I've even tried to use a straw with suction before, because as a bartender, I know I can take a straw and hold it over a certain cup when I use fresh fruits, and you'll get a fruit fly in your drink or whatever. You can hold a straw and then just lift up the end of the straw and pull it away, and the fruit fly will just suck right up in there. But it doesn't work like that with paints. So try this. This is one of these syringes that you can get. A lot of people have them for designing, or I like them especially for using metallics, so you can put it right where you want it. Now what you could do is put it right on that spot, and I'll put another drop on there because that's soaking in the paint already. And just drop it on there like that, and take your syringe and just suck it up. There. Now spray that there. And then you can do is go in there twice, which the paint is gone, but I want to make sure there isn't any white in there. There. And now it's gone, and you don't have to worry about ruining your painting. And it works for larger amounts of paint too. Like I spilled a lot of white. You could try it like that, and then even pour some pink over it. And that's going to help you out if you want to try to get rid of that. All right, you guys, I guess that's it for tonight. And I'm sorry to sound kind of blah. Actually, it's not my chipper self, but I've been down for a while with a back injury. And I just had to get out of bed tonight and do a little something, because all this was on my mind, and I just wanted to stretch a little and try to walk around a little bit. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone. Ciao, everybody.